grade, this is Alyssa. Here I am in your practice course, and I'm making you a little recording to demonstrate for you your rubrics and your outcomes, so hopefully we can clear up your frustration and your confusion. So let's take a peek real quick at your outcomes tool first. And I can see here that you added some outcomes, so that part you have done correctly. Here you can go to your rubric manager, and in your rubric manager you can see that you have 5 different rubrics here. I detailed these rubrics for you in the last message I sent. Some of them do have outcomes on them and some of them don't. This one right here called just copyright is the one that is actually attached to your assignment right now, and it does not have a outcome on it right now. So I don't know, maybe we want to select a different rubric. I know that I looked at each one of these individually, and some have outcomes on them and some don't. I only added an outcome to one of your rubrics yesterday, so any of the other outcomes that are in here are ones that you've successfully added. So maybe we just have the wrong rubric attached to your assignment, because if you're editing them here and then not changing the rubric that is attached to the assignment, that would be why it doesn't show when you go to your assignment. So let's go ahead and take a peek at your assignments right now. I'm going to click on your assignments tool and go into assignment 1 because that's the assignment we've been working on. And here's the rubric that I said was attached right now called copyright. And as you can see, it does not have an outcome attached to it because it doesn't have that little yellow flag by it. There's a couple things we can do here. If you wanted to delete this, you could delete it by clicking the garbage can. If you want to find a different rubric, we can click this little magnifying glass and it will take us to all the rubrics we just looked at in your rubric manager in your outcomes, and you can select anything that you've created from this list. I'm going to go ahead and take the next one down because I already peeked at it and saw that it had some outcomes on it, so I'll click that one. And then we just need to click on use this rubric and it will go ahead and switch that out. And as you can see now, we have a rubric titled Copyright 3. The other one was just called Copyright. And this one has 3 regular criteria plus 2 outcomes on it. So that might be one problem that you were having, is that maybe you were editing them in the rubric manager but then didn't realize that it was a different rubric when you got to the assignment. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch this back to the other rubric. It was just called copyright, and we're going to say use this rubric and it'll switch that back for us. Okay, now let's talk about editing the rubric that's here. I'm going to click the pencil icon to edit, and I don't have permissions to edit this for you, so if I make any changes here, it's actually going to create, it should create just another rubric. So I'm going to go ahead and say okay, but you shouldn't get this warning when you do it. Alright, so here's our rubric, and if I wanted to just add a regular criterion, I would add that here, type in whatever I needed, whatever points I needed, and say OK. If I want to find an outcome, I'm going to come here to find an outcome, and it will take me to those outcomes that you had created. And I will select one by clicking on it and it will display over here. If you want it to assign points on your rubric, you check this box and it will use it for grading. If you don't want it to use it for grading, don't check the box. It will still display on your rubric, it just won't have points attached to it. Okay, and then I'm going to say import and OK. And as you can see, it went ahead and added that to it, and it added 5 points for that. Let's go ahead and do that again. I'm going to do find outcome criterion. I'm going to select the same one, and then this time I'm going to uncheck the box for the grading so you can see the difference. I'm going to say import and OK. Okay, and then here you can see that it went ahead and added the same outcome, but it doesn't have points associated with it. So if it was you know, a certain point value for your assignment that you wanted to preserve, you can add it here to track it, but you don't need to assign points for it. That's up to you. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and say update this rubric and save that on here. Okay, so I'm going to update it. And then do you see how this changed to copyright 1 now? That's because we got that warning message and it said any changes I made would create a new rubric. So if we go back into your outcomes tool and look at your rubric manager now, you'll have 6 rubrics instead of 5. So there's that new one that we just added. So originally this one was there when I started making changes to it. This is the one that was there. All right. Let's go ahead and go back to your assignment, and I am going to switch out the rubrics again so that you don't get confused. I'm going to leave it exactly how it was when we started recording. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to do find another rubric, and I'm going to go back to the plain copyright 1 that doesn't have a 1 after it, and I'm going to say that we're going to use that one and use this rubric, and then we're back to our original one that we started with when I started the recording. Okay, so hopefully seeing this in action helps you understand a little better the process. It's really hard for me to say what part you missed or what is or isn't happening with your computer without actually seeing you do it. So hopefully seeing me do it for you will help answer some questions and alleviate some of that frustration that you're having. So I'll go ahead and send this recording to you, and if you have more questions, go ahead and message me or feel free to call me if you want to talk to me in person. Thanks. Have a nice weekend. Bye.